All right, everybody, we're back. We're back. We're back. For those of you who are tuned in every week on the replay, we thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the surprises that we get after we close the show out at night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're looking at my glasses, don't worry about my glasses, y'all. Don't make no jokes. I broke them and I had to rig them
I
back
didn't even
together.
see him. I didn't even see him.
I forgot my glasses, so you
Oh, you can't see. I'm
I
saying.
didn't even see you. If you had never said anything, we wouldn't know.
I know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wouldn't
just
know.
I got it earlier. I got ragged on earlier. What you got on your face? So anyway, y'all.
Improvising. That's what we
Yes.
do.
That's right. Improvising on the fly.
Yes.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails. If you have your favorite wine, go ahead and put it on ice or something. It's too late to put it on ice, but go ahead and put it in a glass. How is that? Because these ladies like to toast it up with you and talk
Yeah.
about one of the most.
Here we are.
I'm gonna put you on camera. Hold those up again. These ladies like to toast it up with you every week and talk like adults over one of the most important investments you could ever make in your life, and that is life insurance. Life insurance, they teach you that. They teach you about annuities. They teach you about living benefits of life insurance and death benefits of life insurance and so much more.
Yes.
So if you have someone in your family or in your friendships, tag them because this information is for you. With no more further ado, welcome to the Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktail show.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you guys for who's out there watching and listening tonight. Also make sure that you like and share the program with your family and friends. And of course, we've got a fantastic show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about annuities, right? And what they can do for you. So I think we started the conversation last Friday on about annuities, right, Barbara?
Mhm. Yes, we did.
And the importance of having insurance and how annuities can work for you. So again, thank you guys for joining us. My co-host is going to be joining us later, Kimberly Hutchinson from Palestine, Texas, live. And right now, my co-host right now is Barbara
Hello.
Cowbird from Missouri City.
Yes. Just want to say thank you guys for tuning in again. Thanks, Malcolm, for having us again. Like Joyce was saying, we're going to talk about the benefits of having annuities and what it can do for you in retirement and just in general. If you have that extra money or if you need to roll over a 401k or a 403b, just to add to what you already have.
Right. A lot of people don't understand that, life insurance policies and annuities are both tools that help ensure your future, financial security. So while they have some, similar characteristics, there are also some important differences. So that's important to understand the differences between, life insurance policies and annuities. So that's why we're going to be we're here tonight. That's what we're going to be discussing tonight. The differences and how similar they are, and how important it is that you guys, make sure that you're covered and protect your money. So how they differ can also help you make the decision as to, you know, how you should be creating your financial and your retirement planning strategy. So
Right. Yeah. Now, a lot of times, many people do have life insurance in place, whether it's with their job or they just have an existing policy or what have you that they've had for quite some time. It's good to have a financial representative take a look at those things just to make sure that you have adequate coverage.
right.
The life insurance plays a big part in our lives. Some people may think it's not that important, but when you really think about it, if you lose a loved one and you have to come up with the funds to take care of their expenses, and then you're left in situations where, especially if they were a breadwinner or like a significant part of your household income, you'll find yourself just really in a bad situation because you don't have enough income to take care of yourself afterwards and your family. So life insurance, whatever type that might be, whether it's whole life, IULs or term, it's just good to have something. And then if you're in a position where you can roll over a 401k or even an IRA, as far as if you've worked quite some for a certain amount of time and you do have that extra, it's really good to take a look at what an annuity can do for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And I know a lot of people don't understand how life insurance works and what is life insurance and how does it work. Well, life insurance, we don't understand that it delivers a death benefit to your loved ones when you die. In return for payments of the premiums, the life insurance company provides your beneficiaries with financial payouts if you pass away while covered, by your policy. So that's what people need to understand, what the life insurance, is.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't mean to distract you. We have the three savages tuned in. They are influencers that I'm affiliated with, and they have shared the video. Three Savages, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. The call-in number is at the bottom of the screen. It is 832-560-2885. This show is all about life insurance. Just to reintroduce the show to you, anyone else who's tuned in, we are live right now on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook under Real Talk 100 Radio. And this is the show. Before I hand the microphones back to the hosts, the show is called Let's Talk Coverage Over
Cocktails. Yes, of course we have our cocktail here, and just to let you guys that are out there looking at us, we are drinking responsibly. We don't overindulge or anything like that. We're just basically want everyone to be relaxed while we speak about life insurance and the importance of having it and ways to make sure that your money is safe. So we talk about uncomfortable things that are uncomfortable to everyone. So it's just a way of being just relaxed and communicating.
Yes, it's a good way to bring your family together, and just to relax and talk about it. Like you said, Joyce, it's an uncomfortable conversation to have.
Yes,
it's a very necessary conversation.
Right, because I've ran into people who have children. They've said that they have kids and they try and sit down and speak with them about it, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear. I don't want to hear about mom. I don't want to hear about you not being here. But it's the reality of life.
Yeah,
it's something that we all. It's going to happen to all of us at some point in time, and one day we never know. So that's why we want to be able to spread the word. We want to educate the communities about the importance of having coverage, because growing up for myself, as I've always said, I was ignorant to to what insurance was all about, not knowing. The only thing I ever heard about was term insurance, not knowing there were other types of insurance out there. There is other type of of that of policies. There's other types of policies that can ensure that your family continues to live when you're no longer here.
Yes.
And so people don't understand insurance is for the living.
Yes.
To make sure that you can continue to live on, to ensure that you can continue to take care of your families and your kids, or your mom or your dad or your sisters, your brothers,
And there are those expenses that are left too.
Yes, absolutely.
That have to be taken care of. Life does go on, when that individual passed away, but at least they're thinking about, what's going to happen when they, when they're no longer here.
Right.
They're considering. Hey there.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Malcolm. I've been waiting in the background. Listen, I also want to add another reason why it's good to have everything taken care of with life insurance. It keeps the stress of the family falling out with one another.
Yes. Absolutely, because
it's already a heartache. It's already a heartache and a strain to lose a loved one.
Yeah,
that's one burden. That's one burden right there. But if you go ahead and put everything out in writing as to how you want things handled, and have the funds available to take care of that keeps family members from falling out with one another because one may have to come up with more money than the other. One has it, one doesn't. Or, everybody has their own idea of how it should go.
Yeah.
But if it's already written out and taken care of beforehand, then guess what? Then that burden is lifted from everybody.
Exactly. Because the worst thing that can tear a family apart is funerals and weddings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Funerals and weddings will destroy relationships when it comes to death or someone getting married, because somebody didn't get to sit right here. Someone didn't get to do this, it's like, we want to sit.
Doesn't really matter.
Yes, I've heard of it. I've seen it happen, through my own experiences, both, weddings and funerals, it can be disastrous, to be honest with you, totally disastrous. So, and people often, purchase, life insurance to ensure that their survivors, receive funds to replace or at least offset the expenses that are left behind.
Right.
So, as for example, the losses of the income that you would have earned had you lived. It's also secured to pay for major obligations such as continuing to pay the mortgage or college tuition, along with the end of life costs like funeral expenses. So, and people, and Kim, you can vouch for that, being that you work in that arena. A funeral can be expensive. I know firsthand. It can be expensive.
It's way more expensive than it once was.
Yes. I think we had a we had a guest. We had a guest on, from one of the local funeral homes here in Houston, who said that when you're planning to get insurance for a burial, you need to start at what, 9,000, Kim? He said.
Yep.
9,000 up, because you can't get no funeral for $5,000. Who you gonna bury for $5,000? You can't even get a cremation for $5,000 almost now.
Right.
A decent one. You go hire some people from the streets.
There's so many moving parts to it. You got the burial site, you got the digging of the grave, you got, the flat. I mean, it's just so many different moving parts to it. So it's definitely excessive.
Yeah.
You know, way more than it once was.
Right.
You know, 10,000 and above.
Right. You just think about people who have term insurance that got that policy back in the 60s and not knowing, they probably think that policy today is still active and not realizing when they turn 64, that policy has ended. It's no longer good. And that's why we always say, let's do a policy review. Right. Because you may think you have something that you don't, or you don't have anything at all. And you never need the insurance until you need it. You don't have it. In other words, you don't have it, then that's when you're going to need it. So if you're out there listening to this, or you know someone, even your friends and your family, encourage them to go back and pull their policy, because you know how the old people used to do it. My grandma used to put hers on the mattress. You know, go back and pull that policy and look at it. Call up your agent or the company and say, hey, I need someone to give me a policy review. Right. You know, to see what you have. Yes, absolutely.
My dad used to say this a lot, and it was read the fine print.
Yes.
It's a lot said in the fine print.
Oh, that's
and a lot of people don't read it.
We don't, and that's always been our issue, especially in the African American community. We don't read. We do not read. It's almost like we're afraid to read. I read more now. I've been guilty of that, but even growing up as a young girl, I was a reader. You know, I was a reader. I read everything inside the newspaper. And exactly. The knowledge is power. And now I want to know everything. I'm nosy. I want to know what's going on. And my mama used to always tell us, you need to make sure you watch the news, because you need to know what's going on in your world. You know, and that's always stuck with me. Like I say, it's inquiring mind wants to know. Yep, I want to know.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't watch TV, but I do read.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, so I get ahead of the game. Don't know everything. I'm just nosy like that.
and that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Like a lot of people, like you were saying, you know, they get the policies, and because it can be intimidating, but you need an agent, a representative on your side that can really walk you through. You know, like Malcolm was saying, a lot of the fine print. Yes. Because if that policy, you bought that policy 10 years ago, you could have gotten a 10-year policy or a 15, you know, so 20 year. So you just have to really, really evaluate, look at it, have someone take a look, just to make sure that you are still properly covered.
Right. And not only that, we asked our agents for certain things, right? We get to talking conversations. We may get off of the subject, go talking about our family and friends, something funny, our kids or whatever. And we may think that agent has put what we wanted them to put, or we asked them to put, or given us what we want and what we think we're paying for. And it's gotten lost because they forgot to step. You know what I'm saying? Right. So again, that's why it's so important to go back and read that policy. Even when you get that policy back from the company, take your time. Just take an hour or two, get in a quiet space and go back and look at it. Matter of fact, write down what you're going to want on a piece of paper. So when you do go back to review that policy, once you receive it, to make sure that everything that you've asked for is there. Because that's where we have a tendency to get caught up in the crossfires of when something happens, thinking we have something that we don't. Right. And that's like my grandmother, for an example, when we had, when she passed away, she had a burial. We thought everything was paid for. Pretty much everything was. But the clothes weren't there. We were like, we know Greenie paid for this. We remember her saying this, but it wasn't included on the policy.
Yes, it has to be in writing. It has to be.
It has to be in writing.
And take a look at your beneficiaries also after a certain amount of time. You know, because people do pass away. They may pass away before you do. So those are just added things that you just really, really have to take a look at. You know, your beneficiary, a contingent beneficiary.
Right.
You know, so you just have to always make sure that you're reviewing that, you know, every so often, you know.
Because I'm sure that, you know, policies has created, I'm going to say pretty sure, I know, policies have driven some wedges between families.
Yes.
Because because I'm sure one person, because someone may have said, "Oh, you're going to be my beneficiary." So when the person passes on and they pull the policy, it's not what that person,
Right.
who that person has
It could be somebody
named.
totally different on there.
Well, she told me
Mhm.
I was going to be the beneficiary, but not understanding it's all about what's in black and white. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think they're the beneficiary of policy, and they ain't no beneficiary,
You're
and they're gonna be
absolutely
pissed off at the person that get the money because they say, or they gonna start accusing that person of changing the policy. All
Right.
kinds of craziness goes on,
Yeah,
with
definitely true.
insurance. So, we talk about the life insurance policies. Again, we spoken about the different types um numerous times on the show. So for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm going to go over those again because we do have the three types of life insurance policies. We have what we call the term policy, and we have a return of premium, which we call it for short ROP, and we have my mind just went blank. The permanent policy. So yes.
A friend of mine is watching y'all on her TV in her house. She says y'all are speaking.
Hi.
Absolutely. Hi there. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
Her name is Beauty Edgley. She's a DJ in Houston by the name of DJ Crowd Pleaser.
Oh,
That's her
Thank
name.
you, Ms. Edgley, for
Alright.
tuning in. We appreciate that. But like for the term, as I said earlier, you purchase that term policy, you get it in your 30s, and it's going, you're getting older now, and you don't remember because we have a tendency to forget as we get older, been there, done that. You don't remember that when you purchase that term policy, you were possibly explained that once you hit 64, that policy is going to expire. A lot of people have forgotten, like me, I'll be 64 next year. I had to get me a better policy.
Right.
So
right.
we always say, go back and again, that policy review to make sure that, hey, you may be turning 64 this year or next year. Go back and take that policy and transfer it over to something, much better than what you have that can carry you on. Because once you reach 64 and you do have a term policy, it's going to expire. So you want to explain the return of premium, or Kim?
Yeah, so it does depend on what at what point you get the policy.
And how many years? What
Yeah,
the term
how many
is.
years?
It could be 15 years. It could be 20 years. It could be 25 or 30.
Right.
So whatever age you're going to be whenever it expires, and sometimes you gotta keep up with yourself, because a lot of times they don't send you a letter that says, "Hey,
Right.
No.
about to expire." You gotta keep up with those things for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Really do.
So that's why it's good to do an inventory every so often, once a year. Make that a to-do list thing. All my stuff are in order. My sister just recently went over stuff with my mom, because we had a loved one who lost her grandmother, and when the grandmother passed, some of the siblings, the mother, her mother and her aunt, they were all arguing about the smallest things about the preparation of putting the grandmother to rest. And because it wasn't written out, and nothing was written in stone how she wanted things carried out, there was a division. And when you're emotional already because you lost someone you wasn't wanting to lose, you wasn't looking to lose, or especially a parent, dear to your heart, you're already emotional. So it doesn't take very much to send you over the edge. You get mad about the smallest little things because you're already upset, about one thing, right? So it made my sister, because she's been listening to the show, about how we have to have these uncomfortable conversations.
Yes.
We have to sit down and have uncomfortable conversation. And it just so happened my mom was even open to lay out what she wanted, to even as to go into details as to what church she wanted to have the what cemetery she wanted things add up.
Yes.
And then my sister went ahead, listen to the show, went ahead and called the insurance company to ensure that Mama's policy, the value of it was still what we were expecting it to be. And lo and behold, it is. So I was grateful for that. And it's something that we just have to do. We just have to make sure. Because in this industry, we find out a lot of times that somebody that has had a policy for a number of years, they don't check on it.
Yeah.
The money might have been borrowed off of it because they might have missed a couple of premium payments, but to keep it active, that the insurance agent might have borrowed off of it just to keep the policy active for that person, and they didn't pay it back or something. Or maybe you borrowed money off of it and forgot and hadn't paid it all back. And then the value goes down. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep up with those things.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. And Kim, that's a good thing.
And not have what you think you're going to have. Working in the funeral industry myself, previously, I've been there where they thought that a policy was X amount of dollars, and then when we call the insurance company and find out that it's not even what they thought it was supposed to be.
Exactly.
And then that put the family in another predicament, because now they have a short time to come up with the money for the funeral, because number one, you don't want to leave your loved one out too long.
Right.
Number one. Number two, the funeral home, they're not gonna let you have a funeral until the bill is paid, or they know that they're secure about how they're getting their money.
They all busy.
Yeah. So they gonna hold your body hostage, right?
Yeah, they'll put you on ice.
Put you on ice.
And Kim, that's why I'm glad you said that your sister was listening, and you know that prompted her to take action. You know, so that's why we're here. You know, making coverage contagious. So being here on the show, you know, hopefully it's reaching a lot of different people. Right. And we sit, we have our little cocktails, and we want people to do the same thing, to have that uncomfortable conversation. Right. Because had your sister not, you know, gone ahead and taken action and, you know, started getting things together, you know, it could be a totally different situation. You know? Yeah.
And Kim, you know, speaking of that, you know, you have these companies out here, especially when it comes to burial, you can go ahead and gather all the information together and put it on a disc, because that's what I had with my dad, you know, and send it back to the insurance company. So once that person expires, all you gotta do is call the insurance company, and they're gonna send that disc with all the information to the funeral home. And you don't have to worry about gathering pictures, gathering, you know, speeches or eulogies or whatever you may want, because you can entail all of that stuff. And then the insurance company will go ahead and put that information on a disc and send it to the funeral home. So you don't have to worry about that stress, because you're already grieving. Yeah. So the last thing that you want to deal with is have to try and put all this information together,
all those details
and finding pictures, trying to figure out what you're going to say. Just gather it together, because it's hard enough trying to deal with the loss of your loved one.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I have done for my dad, you know, but unfortunately things went another way. But it's just something that would have been a relief for my sisters and my brothers, you know, to have that done, because, you know, I'm a daddy's girl, and it was very difficult for me anyways. So just having to go through that was just a lot.
Joyce, how did I know you was a daddy's baby? How did I know that?
I'm a daddy's baby. I am a daddy's girl. Strictly a daddy's girl till the day I die. Today I die. I'll always be a daddy's girl.
Just picking on you.
I know. I'm a daddy's girl. I've always been a daddy's girl. My mom say, you look just like your You look just like that.
That's
That's the first
That's what
thing
my
they
mom would say. Yeah, you look just like your dad. You got your daddy ways. That's what she say.
I
All
get
your
it.
daddy ignorant ways.
I
But
get it all the time from my
yes,
ex-wife. You
Mhm.
get her, she look just like you.
yes, 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 yes. Lord, yes, you did. It happened. So yeah, but it's we're trying to make this thing contagious, guys. So if you're out there listening, we want to spread the word around the world. We want to make insurance contagious. We want to make sure that families are out there being covered, not having to go out there and raise money through GoFundMe's or getting together, barbecuing and selling barbecue plates or baking, selling cakes and pies to raise money for your loved ones. Sit down, figure out what your strategy is going to be, how much money you can, spare per month. I always say per week, that will add up to a monthly fee that you can spare for insurance, because I'm telling you, it's hard out here.
It is. And
It's hard.
Even if you get that term policy, and term policies are a bit different from what they used to be. They do
it's
expire.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not really expensive.
No.
But there are certain companies that you can add a rider, like a critical illness, those living benefits. You can add that to a term policy. They're of course less than a whole life permanent policy, but it's at the same time you would have something in place.
Right.
Just remember, it could be 10 year, 15, 20 year, but it does expire.
Absolutely.
After a certain time, you just have to kind of keep up with that and just remember what time frame that you had with that particular policy.
Right.
And just to step up from that, you have the ROP, that return of premium.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit more costly than a term policy.
Sure.
But at the same time, that policy will expire. But if you don't pass away, you will get a portion of that money returned back to you.
Absolutely.
So there are different avenues that you can go as far as getting yourself coverage.
Yes. And even if you feel like you can't afford what you want, you may not be able to go out there and get that $1 million policy or that $500,000 policy, but you may be able to get $100,000 policy. But you can always upgrade to something better later on down the line. Just get something. Make sure that you don't leave that stress and that burden on your kids or your family, your mom or your dad or whomever, just in general. You don't want to have to have your family worry about how they're going to be able to put you away properly.
You know what else I like about the way insurance is now?
What's that, Kim?
Versus how it used to be.
What's that, Kim?
Everybody can get covered. A lot of times, if you have illnesses or certain conditions, you couldn't get covered. It knocks you out the block. And I think a lot of people that don't have coverage, that's what they're looking at. Oh, I'm a diabetic.
Right. Yeah, people don't think that they can be covered. You can find something. There's something out there for everybody.
There's something
out there. We work with a ton of carriers. Yes. Take that money, even if you're in good health or whatever, now if you're in good health, that's a good time you go out.
Best time to get
it, because getting that policy does depend on your health condition. It does depend on the amount of what medications you're taking. So if you are in the process of getting a policy, be open and honest with the agent about what you're taking. Don't go there and tell them, "Oh, I'm in excellent health." Please, because the MIB,
Medical Information Bureau,
Medical Information Bureau,
anyway.
Yes, because we don't realize, and again, I didn't know this. If it's an aspirin being prescribed by your doctor through a prescription, do not leave it off of the application, because it does show up in the Medical Information Bureau, which I didn't realize that until I got into the industry. They know everything you're taking.
They know everything.
They're gonna ask you, and then we're gonna have to come back and ask you because the company is gonna call us or contact us via email or whatever, want to know why is this patient. We need to know why he's taking this aspirin. How long has he been taking the aspirin?
Right.
Is he still taking it? When did he start? When does he finish? So just be upfront because I've had clients to tell me I'm in good health and come back with a list this long of medication they're taking.
And see, the thing is too, some people, they like over the years, you had an infection, you had just something or a broken toe, so they had to prescribe you something. But it doesn't mean that you're still taking that necessarily.
No, it does not.
So all you have to do, you have to disclose it. But
Absolutely.
let them know, okay, this was this incident. I'm not taking that anymore.
Right. When did you
some
stop?
people have that long list, and then the dates are on there too. So,
yes.
So just let them know that, okay, I was taking this. I'm not taking that anymore. And that's where our notes come in to just make sure that the companies know.
And if you're unsure about the medications that you've taken, the best thing I can, I've done this for myself. You can go to CVS, Walgreens, and they will give you a printout.
They give you your list.
Your list of your medications. So people may not know that. I did that. My brother got sick. My brother got ill, and I actually didn't know that until I had to get a list of all his medications. So, and that's how I know that you can do that. So don't let people tell you, well, I can't give you no list. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
If you go to your pharmacy and they're saying, well, I can't give you a list, call and get your supervisor.
Yeah, they can do that.
Because they can.
Yeah, they can print your list.
Because you're going to need that information, because a lot of people forget what dates they get their medications or when they even started. Because I don't keep up with all that as long as I'm feeling better. Yeah. I'm good,
Yeah.
But, even with my own policy, I was prescribed a medication I know it's for people with diabetes, but being a woman and hormonal, the doctor gave me the gabapentin. So I'm not a diabetic, but it was prescribed for them hot flashes. We women, when we get a certain age, we get, you know what I'm saying? So I had to explain that because it's not what it's used for. Certain medications can be used for numerous things.
And you have to be careful though, and you have choices.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first started having my hot flashes and stuff, and she wanted to put me on like some form of Prozac. I'm not crazy. It make you feel like you're crazy sometimes, but no, I do not put me on that. No, no.
But yeah, we can get a little when we get to hot flashes.
We get a little booty,
we do change. So,
you have choices. I'm like, no, ma'am.
That's right.
I do not even write no prescription for nothing, none of that.
And the reason it was so funny because I actually, I did get the medication. To be honest with you, and when I start reading, the side effects, I'm like,
that's my main thing. Side
effects was not one of. I'm like, I don't even need this, but because I filled it and not know all the side effects, because I don't need to have any of what it was saying my possibilities could be. So
I started looking at natural forms,
but it was went to the MIB, it went to the medical bureau. So when they pulled it, they sent it. I'm like, look, I got it and I didn't take it. I'm good.
Right.
But those are the kind of things you
explain things, but they're still gonna rate you.
But I'm gonna tell you, when I get my medications, I read what the side effects are. If they talk about making me crazier than what I'm already,
right?
I don't
make you depend on that crap. I'm like, no,
I do not need it.
No.
Do not need
Where's
it.
James at when I need it? James, is she crazy?
His answer to you would be yes, sir. I can answer that for you. But seriously, you just gotta, just make sure you got your medications and stuff. So, but
another reason why you want to be upfront and honest about what you're taking and everything is it's a difference in the quote that we're going to give you.
Yes.
Yes.
Just like with auto insurance. You can put on there that you haven't had an accident or any violation. And then as soon as they get through running it through the
Yeah.
MVT, the motor vehicle thing, and then you'll see that your insurance premium is
They're
up.
gonna find out.
Up is a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
Because why? Because we found out that she was not telling the truth.
Right.
And so that's the same with the insurance. Same with the
Coming
insurance.
up fire you.
Yep.
We found out.
Increase that
Find
rate.
out.
You
Your
know,
rate don't be higher.
it's gonna be higher. You're gonna be wondering
You're
why.
gonna be mad at us. Hey, they'll be mad at us talking about. I thought you said I wouldn't have to pay for $50. This said 161. When I thought you said you was in good health, but come to find out, you got the same going on.
Whole grocery list of medications.
But but you know what, Kim, that's why I don't worry about when Credit Karma want to ask me about my driving history. You don't need to know all that. I don't need none of that on my driving. I ain't got no car. Period. They sent me some craziness like that a month ago. You have to fill out. I started looking at it. You have to fill out all this information about your driving history. I mean, I guess it tracks you.
Just things to
It
add
tracks
to
you
tracking
while you're driving.
Oh,
you're not
for
speeding.
your insurance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell
Yeah,
no.
that's
You know,
why they-
I drive
yeah,
fast.
that's why
I
they
already
do that.
know I drive fast.
And putting the little adapter in your car.
Yeah, you don't need to know all that. No. You know,
Yeah,
I
how
used
you
to go
brake
out.
and
Yes.
So on that note, what can you get away with? Can you hold some information back? Can you?
I mean, you
can. You can.
But if
With
things that are
Yeah, but we're gonna find out anyway.
yeah.
Well, I'm going off of what Joyce said. They don't need to know that.
What?
So you said they don't need to know if I feed or something.
No, but what I'm saying is, we're Geico. Geico wants to know your driving.
Yeah.
How you drive out here in the world. If you're speeding on the freeway.
Oh, they're asking too much, is what you're saying.
Yeah, hell yeah. They don't need to know all that about me.
So what is too much?
Well, which one of insurance company have?
Like I say, I know my driving speed, right? I know my habits when I'm driving. I may go feel like I may get my music on, my car, and I forget where I'm at. I'm zoned out.
Right.
So I may
the tailgate and have but
you know what? I've known to do that, and I was like, oh shit, I'm speed. Let me slow down. So I have to. They don't need to know all that.
Hold on just a minute, ladies. We have quite a few people tuned in on Instagram. Thank you for tuning in. The Muse used to have a show here on Real Talk 100 Radio. Thank you for tuning in. She's a singer. She's a singer right here in Houston, Texas. She puts you in a mind of neo soul, maybe.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
maybe a Bill Scott or maybe a Erica Badu.
Awesome.
Signature is tuned in. Jaka is one of the top promoters in Houston. He's tuned in. Thank y'all. Yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you.
We had quite a few. All of them aren't here anymore, but they just tuned in. Please share the video to people's inboxes. We're talking about life insurance tonight, y'all, and the importance of life insurance as it pertains to protecting your family.
Yes, protect your family. That we're stressing that.
Yeah.
Again, we're trying to make this thing contagious around the globe, not just in Houston, Texas, but around the world. We want to make sure that everybody is covered. That's why our show is called Let's Talk Coverage, over cocktails, because we want to make this thing contagious. We have shirts that we wear that says let's make
coverage contagious.
Yeah, we're making insurance contagious because there's something out there for everyone. There's nobody out there that should be saying, well, I can't get insurance. Now, you cannot get insurance if you're incarcerated in a penal facility.
Yeah, if you're in jail.
So just know that, because you're awarded to the state of Texas or whatever state you're in. So let's clear that up, because I did say everybody can. But if you're incarcerated, you cannot get insurance. If your loved ones is going to be getting insurance, but they don't ever know when you're going to be going to the state.
They don't know that.
Again, that's why it's so important to get coverage as soon as possible, because you never know what's going to happen in life. It's called life. Because once you go into the state, penitentiary or whatever, you cannot your mom or your dad
Mhm.
or your sister, your brother cannot get you covered,
Right,
because
that's
you are
true.
awarded to the state of Texas.
Yes. And we give the analogies about, your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance, and, in any other kind of insurance, your telephone insurance, your cell phone. So, it just lets you know the importance of, what you feel about what you love, or what you hold dear to you.
Yes.
So, your life should be just as important, if not more so.
Absolutely.
Because it's a big part of what you are. So once you're covered, your life is covered. There's a sense of security that your whole
Absolutely.
family is going to be taken care of. Your livelihood,
Absolutely.
when you're gone, your loved one's livelihood is still going to be taken care of. So it's just we're just trying to get everyone to understand how important it is. And we have fun, and we want everybody to be comfortable by having a little cocktail, or even your coffee, water, whatever it is, just so that you can get together and have that uncomfortable conversation about getting coverage, getting life insurance coverage.
Absolutely.
And in whatever form that may be.
Right. Because, the primary purpose of life insurance is to financially provide for your loved ones after you die. So we want everyone to understand that. And that's why we're here trying to educate people, around the globe about, making sure you got that coverage. Get that coverage, because we never know. You could just walk outside your door and things happen.
Yes. And understand there's that living benefit also. If something happens, and if you don't pass away, but you're critically injured, or you succumb to some critical illness or terminal illness, you can still get that money even in life. That those benefits even in life. Certain states, I think like the state of Massachusetts or whatever, you have to have all those benefits go directly to your health, your hospitalization, your caregivers, or what have you, whatever that situation is. But most of the time, like 99% of the time, you get those living benefits right away.
Yeah.
It's a portion of that, of course, but you do get those living benefits to survive and to to live on for your mortgage and all the other expenses that you may incur during that time.
Right. And a lot of people don't also know that when the beneficiaries are paid, their tax, there's no taxes on that money. So you don't have to worry about saying, oh, well, I'm getting all this money, I'm gonna pay all these taxes.
Right.
So that's you don't have to worry about paying the taxes on the monies that you receive from your loved ones after they're gone. So that's just a lot of people worries as well. Well, I'm going to get all this money. I've got to pay taxes on this $100,000 or $500,000. That's tax-free money.
It is tax-free money.
Tax-free money.
Tax-free money.
So just make sure we have some.
Ladies, I want y'all to touch on the most important. Excuse me, I can't talk tonight. Let's blame it on alcohol, right? No, we're not going to do that. Touch on the most important part to me, and that is
being your own bank.
Being your own bank.
Kim, you want to handle that one?
Teach people how to become their own bank. That is what I want to talk about, because people don't understand how this country was built, and they need to know that they could do the same thing with their own lives.
Sure.
And their own families.
Just think about being in your 20s.
Yes.
And becoming your own bank when you get to be 60, 70 years old. Wow. Just think about how much money you can have.
That's absolutely true.
By taking the money that you have, people don't understand that you have 401ks, right? Your 401k, when you have that 401k, you're losing money, because when the market goes up, the money is there. But when the market drops, you're losing your money. So what do? People don't understand how the Rockefellers, became as wealthy as they have become, because they invested they had all these policies, right, on family members. So when one family member would pass away, they took, did what they need to do with the money. They put the other money away.
That was that generational wealth they built.
That's why exactly, that generational wealth. So they, and everybody got a policy, had a policy on them. So they kept it in the family. That they built, that's how they became wealthy. They kept taking the money as one passed away and putting it back into policies. They would borrow off of it or whatever they needed to do and put that money back. And that's how they became their own bank. That's why they became wealthy. And we didn't just think if we all could do that.
Yes,
right. And you have to understand financial literacy also. Just say you were just speaking of like the $500,000. Just say, for instance, someone passed away, and even if it was a term policy and they got $500,000, would you just blow through that money? It depends on your mentality,
right?
Or are you going to put that money into into a source such as an annuity,
yes,
where you can build on that money.
Right.
That money won't disappear within 2 years.
Right.
So you just wasted money. There's ways of building wealth from that. But of course, if you have your IUL, index universal life, or your whole life policy, it builds cash value, and that's how you're building your own bank, creating your own bank as well.
Right. So that's one of the things we were going to talk about, those annuities tonight too, because annuities, people may not know this, but annuities are designed to provide a steady stream of income, now or in the future, in the return for payment of premiums. So you can pay premiums in a single lump sum or spread them out over a period of time. So you have the fixed annuities, which guarantee a set payment amount. So you got the variable annuities that let you choose how your money will be invested, and so payments amount, they vary. So that's how another way of becoming, Malcolm, as you said, becoming your own bank. So those annuities, are very important, and they save a lot of people too.
Yes, absolutely.
Just think about taking your 401k and putting that money into an annuity where it actually grows money, or you don't lose your money, because people don't understand. You have that 401k, you're gonna lose that money if that market drops. It's just a tax code. That's what that 401k is. It's a tax code, and people don't understand. If you don't understand money, then you won't understand how to save money and become your own bank. So that's another thing that we talk about, and we want to educate individuals on. How do you become your own bank?
Yes.
And you have your 401ks, you have the IRAs, all those type money resources. You can't actually, like you were saying, you can actually lose money.
You
have your financial advisor that will deal with certain other areas as far as investments, but you just have to be careful, that when you're dealing with your money that way, you can, it's a possibility that you are going to lose a certain amount of money,
right?
If it just sits there,
So that's why it's so important to understand the key differences between life insurance and annuities, which they can help you decide which tool is right for you when you're trying to make sure your money is safe. So that's why we have to make sure that we learn how to save, learn how to make sure our money is safe. So those are things that once you sit down with a professional, and they can tell you the difference, and you can decide where you want to put your money. How do you want to protect your money? How do you want to grow your money? So those it's a good thing. So Malcolm was always wanting to know how I can be my own bank. I want to become my own bank.
Believe me, I do my share of studying. I'm a YouTube. I'm going to have a master in YouTube education sooner or later. That's where I get most of my information that I don't know. If I don't know something, I go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Now they only give you the basics, but that's what you need to get started.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, because we don't, again, that boils down to being inquisitive about certain things. Oh, Kim, did you say something?
No, I didn't, but I was going to say to someone like Malcolm, who likes to go to YouTube to get a lot of information as well as read, you need to get one of us and speak to one of us so we can help you look at your situation, see what we can do for you to achieve whatever the goal is that you're trying to reach.
Absolutely.
And see, that's why they'll give you a limited amount of information on YouTube and those other avenues also. You know, then it's consulting. They want you to
Get with the
call them
professionals
so you can get the real deal. They
draw
reel
you
you
in.
in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Want to
absolutely.
draw you in so
Yeah.
they can. Yes, exactly.
Because you never
Get with that
you know,
professional representative that can sit down with you and go
You
over
might be
your
somebody,
goals. You know.
what'd you
Go
say,
ahead,
Kim?
Kim.
right? Because you might be someone. I was going to say you might be someone who does not have a 401k or an ROL to roll over, but you still have some type of money that you can invest on a monthly basis that you can use to put in an account so that it can grow.
Right. Right.
There is always a way. Where there's a will, there is a way. I'll let you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because once you put that money into that annuity to say not touch it, not try and go and what my grandmother would say, nibble off of it.
Right?
You don't want to be nibbling off of it. You know, you want to make sure it's set for 3 to 5 years or whatever, and then you can see your money there. You can see how much money it has grown, but you're going to continue to put money into the annuity so it grows.
Right.
You know,
Right. And that's the same with that index universal life policy also.
Yeah.
You're protecting your life at the same time you're building value.
Absolutely.
And it also dabbles in the market also.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you know, your money's not gonna, your initial amount is gonna be there, but you know, it's not gonna touch any of your growth. It's always gonna grow.
Absolutely. Because you have so many people who, go ahead, Kim.
I say it's like planting a seed. It's gonna take a little while under the dirt, but it's still formulating. And then at some point in time, it's gonna break through. It's gonna blossom. It's gonna grow. So a lot of times people say, "Oh, I can't afford. I can't afford." Think about the money that you spend on a weekly basis on lottery tickets. Think about the money that you spend on a regular basis going to the coffee shop, Starbucks, and scooters. You can take that money, and if you add what you spend eating out all the time instead of cooking, you'll find out that you have more money and more resources than you ever thought that you had.
Right.
If you're the kind of person that goes to the club and want to buy shots for everybody, take that money instead of buying some shots, buy some insurance, you will find out that your money will go a lot further and last you a lot longer.
Absolutely.
And you do have it, but you got to make it. It's all about how bad do you really want it. How bad do you want to have food? How bad do you want to have a future where you're not having to worry about having this extra income? You might want to be at a certain age to where, you know, your retirement money helps pay the bills, but you got a little something else on the side that's going to help you feel safe.
Just
help you go on vacation.
Right.
Do something for the grandkids. Do something for, you know, your spouse. It's not, you know, be over your head or taken away from however else you have your money budgeted.
Yeah, but Kim, you know, it's a lot of people out there making a lot of money. You know, and especially younger people, they're making like good money, lump sums of money.
Yes.
You know, and that's a way right now. That's where that financial literacy comes in, understanding, you know, how to control your finances.
But and they don't know
how to maintain that.
They don't know
money.
they don't know how to manage their money.
Exactly.
They don't know how to manage their money, so they're banking it and not knowing that they're losing it. You know, the interest rate from banks is high. You know, let alone, they don't have that knowledge to know, okay, I've got all this money. What am I going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to invest it? You think our common thing, what do? We normally put it in the bank, we invest in CDs and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't
grow. It's in the bank. There's a little safety net there, but it's just there. It's not going to grow. It's not going to build you anything.
No, because the bank is using your money to do their investments into what they want
what you need to be doing.
Yeah. And that's investing that money where you can make money. Again, Malcolm, be in your own bank.
Let's touch on that subject for a minute, ladies, since y'all brought it up. I've learned what y'all just said from YouTube. Touch on that, how banks use your money to make money and don't pay you anything off of what they've made off of your money.
Yeah, it's that little point where
they use
you're not making any money. They're making all the money.
Yeah, they're making interest, but then they want to charge you interest if you don't have a certain amount of money in your bank account.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what sense does that make?
So they can buy more real estate.
Yeah, they're charging you for, if you sign up for a bank account, that you have to have let's say for an example, $5,000 in the account on a daily. You may go get 500 out of that 5,000. You don't maintain that, they're charging you for not having that monthly fee.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you got X number of dollars into that bank, and they're taking your money, investing it in what they want. You're not giving you a dime.
Absolutely.
Not giving you anything.
When you can take your money and invest your money into an IUL or an annuity and let it grow money and work for you just like the bank. It's still going to be safe. It's still going to be safe.
You just have that opportunity to let it grow.
Yeah. And since we're on this bank conversation, again, for everyone who's listening, we've learned this by having guests on the show as well, that, if you have a bank account, you need to make sure that you have it noted that it's POD, which means pay up on death. Because if you don't have that, your money's going to be tied up into your estate. Yeah. So you need to make sure that if you got a large sum of money in the bank, something can happen to you tomorrow or next week, for an example. And if you don't have that P like in Paul, O like in Oscar, D like in dollar, which means payable upon death, your family's going to have a hard time trying to get that money. And they may need that money because you don't have a burial policy to put you away. So just make sure that you have that, have that noted in your file. I tell you, if I heard that, I went straight to the bank the next day. I went straight to the bank because I don't want to put my family through anything that's not it's going to be uncomfortable or going to be a headache for them trying to get what actually belongs to them.
There are already so many stresses.
Oh, it's a lot. It's just so many components.
Somebody. Yeah, so just having things in order.
Yes, and then again, for all you grandparents out there that may be listening or watching, or the show may be passed on to you, there are policies out there now and rules where you as grandparents can also acquire policy on your grandchildren if they're under 18 without having the parents' permission or even having a social. You just need to make sure that you have the child's correct name and date of birth. And you can get a policy on your grandkids. You don't have to call up your son or your daughter saying, hey, when was little John's birthday? And what's his social? And they be wanting to ask you 50 questions.
Most of the time you're taking care of them anyway, dropping them off, and if they feel like it, you're taking care of them anyway.
And then they want to ask you, well, why do you need Johnny's birthday? Why do you need Johnny's social? I ain't gonna ask you shit now. Now what is it? Because I got you know how your grandparents used to have the Bible? The big old thick Bibles on there. Everything go in the Bible. So my thing is, I got everything in my Bible at the foot of my bed. I got a big old Bible. Everything is written in that Bible. So I don't need to ask you nothing. I just got to go look at my Bible and do what I need to do. Because I don't need to hear all that chit chat. Then you trying to ask me, Mom, well, why you asking me? I said, I gotta get permission from the daddy and the mama. I ain't trying to hear none of that.
No, man.
No, you don't have to do all that. Because a lot of, like Barbara said, grandparents are taking care of their kids anyway. I had to call my grandson today and tighten him up.
Tighten him up.
I had to tighten him up over the phone. Boy, I'm old school. I ain't your mama.
He out of control, huh?
No, the little boy had nerve. He's 7. He had nerve. Grandma telling him, talking. The phone, all of a sudden, the phone go click. I call my dad. I say, did he just hang up on me? She said, yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
they're quick to do that.
I said, put him on the phone. Right now, let write them sentences over there. And I told him, you know what I told him? I'll see you this weekend. I gotta make a believe about him because I gotta go make a trip down south. To let you know, Grandma would show up.
And she said she had to tighten him up.
I had to tighten him up. I told him, if I had been your mama,
I know.
She said, Mama, I told him, I say, he don't understand. I ain't know he's more than Grandma.
Right.
I'm from the old school.
See, my sister used to let her little grandson use her phone all the time. I'm calling her, and click. Every time I call her, click. Oh,
Kim,
Nigel had my phone.
I got one.
Yeah.
I got one.
They will hang up
I
on
got one right now.
I called Kim one night and he kept hanging up. And Kim said, Kim, what's in there? Junior, did you see Miss Joyce come? He told her, yeah, but I feel like answering the phone.
Or he playing his game. He playing games on
they played a little game. He was playing Roblox and
right.
serving his game.
He said he didn't feel like
I got one.
Yep.
Man, we old school grandmas. You know, I'm not no now one of these new age grandmas. I was bold. I would roll down south, baby. Grandma, I'm like, Grandma don't play that. Like, homie don't play that. Grandma don't play that.
I know that's right.
No, baby, we got old school here. I'm like, Catherine was like, my daughter was like, I told her, Mama. I said, if your mama had did that to me, Grandma will ride.
Okay.
Grandma will ride.
Good travel.
She said, we'll travel. And she sent me a picture with him because she made him write sentences all day, right? Because he was throwing a little tantrum. He's 7. She said he had to. I said, so get over there and write them sentences. My daughter sent me a picture at the table writing sentences. I will not throw a temper tantrum. We don't play tantrums up in here.
I know that's right.
We gonna get CPS on us up in here. We don't play that. They have to come. We don't play that one.
We'll get some get right.
Huh? What'd you say,
We're
Kim?
gonna get some get right.
Hello, for real.
Get right.
We don't do Dr. Spock at our house.
We don't do none of that.
We don't do none of that. I never did timeout. Time what? What's that?
Girl, what
What's
was that?
timeout? Girl, please. Jimmy Lee would slap you upside your head. My mama slapped me in my mouth one time for chewing gum, and her she said, Joyce, stop popping the gum. I'm chewing, trying to look at the
They
newspaper.
hated you popping that gum.
Baby, please. Hand went across my mouth.
Okay.
We don't play that old
In a
school.
heartbeat.
I don't understand.
This new
I don't
school.
either.
I ain't know. We ain't no new school. We old school.
So we believe what the Bible says: spare the rod, spoil the child.
No, we don't do that exactly. You remember how your grandma used to have that the switch in the church?
Oh yeah.
Better not,
No, not play that.
better not move. Better not be chewing no gum in church. None of that. None of the above. Nowadays, I didn't even know what pants were in the church house.
I know.
I feel weird about walking. I feel like I'm seeing. I feel like I'm seeing it if I go to church with some pants on.
I walk in proudly with my pants down.
I can't do it. I'm old school Bible. I can't do
wear
it.
my pantsuit like it ain't nothing now because
I feel
growing
like
up, girl. We were oh my God, we were in church like every if not every day, every other day.
Oh, I remember them days,
so
Wednesday
like,
night. How you gonna go to church all night long? Gotta go to school
all night, man. We would be. Oh my goodness.
I was a junior deacon. I was in the choir. I was an usher.
Yes.
And then the parents. I wasn't in Bible study, but they made me go.
They made you go.
Ooh, Bible school in the summertime. You had no summer.
Yes.
So that's 4 days, and then 5 was Sunday. And I'm forgetting something. Women's ministry or something.
BTU.
And if they didn't have a babysitter, Bible
study.
But
But BT, whatever that,
the
I
one,
forgot
the
what
one that
it meant.
lasts the whole week. Vacation
Vacation Bible school.
Vacation
Yeah.
Bible school when that came.
Mhm.
So whatever the Women's Day was, so that's 5 days out of the week I was in church. 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Don't let no revival
Yes.
come to town.
Oh my goodness.
Don't not let a revival come to school, come to town. You in the revival through the week. I'm like, I gotta go to school tomorrow.
No.
You need the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what my parents say. You
We
need
were
the
in
Lord.
That week, I hate it. Oh Lord, we got a revival this
I
week.
couldn't
Oh,
wait to get to college. Oh,
baby,
oh my
for real. Oh Lord.
Good wait.
Yeah, just try being the secretary and the piano player in the
God.
church.
Mhm.
My mom make me go to church every Sunday. I'm like, I don't feel like playing no piano this month. But you know, you got to go practice and go to church choir practice through the week,
Mhm.
right, Kim? Kim used to be. We lived in East Texas. Kim would have her car full of kids, picking up everybody, including mine. I'd be at work. Your kids got to go be in choir practice. I'm like, how she do all of these kids?
Kim, you still there?
Yes, she would. She have a car full of kids. Man, I didn't want my own half of the time. I was like, Lord Jesus. Ooh.
They must be driving
She was a
crazy.
good one.
She was. She's good with kids.
Mhm.
She's awesome with kids. But yeah, that's how life is. So we got this thing called life, y'all. We talk about a little bit of everything on here, so we kind of get off the subject every once in a while. And for those of you that are listening, because we try to make it fun and not so
but
dull.
it's all a vital part of the whole scheme of things, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
True. You know, again, it's called life. We reminisce a little bit about our childhood, growing up, going into today's society. You have to laugh because there's so much going on in the world today. People are losing family members every day, every hour, every minute. You can't look on Facebook without seeing someone that has passed away that you've known, or someone that you know that knows somebody that you know. So again, our show is about insurance coverage, trying to educate the communities on the different types of insurance. We do policy reviews, so if you have a policy, don't feel free to call us, because we do those free of charge.
Free consultations.
Yeah.
We're happy to sit down with you and go over your, what you already have, because you can never have enough.
Right.
But you just have to make sure that you have something in place and have and know the status of what you have in place.
Right. You can call myself. We can do it over Zoom. We can do it over the phone. I can come where you are. We do travel. We are in all 50 states. My phone number is 281-814-7332. My name is Joyce Schofield. For those of you who may not know, and
my name is Barbara Calbert, and my number is 346-243-4011, located in the Missouri City area. But like Joyce said, we will travel to wherever you are. We're available on Zoom, and just a phone call away. Just let us know. We'll make it convenient for you.
Yeah, if you just have even if you have a question, no pressure. We are no judgment zone. We don't judge you for anything. Anything that you speak to us about is confidential. We don't even discuss our own clients with each other. Just even if you have a question about your policy, or you need to inquire about something that you just want to know, just call us. We're more than happy to answer your questions about it. As I said earlier, we'll be glad to sit down with you and discuss what you have, or what maybe give you some options of what other things you can do or add on to what you have already. So just give us a call, because we'd rather you have insurance than not have insurance. Like I said, I've had so many family members that have passed on, and family members have had to go out there and raise monies, or do the barbecue thing. It's time out for that. It's time out.
And just think about it, Joyce. I was listening to the reviews from the school. The attorney general, came down and talked to the parents and just gave the results of what happened during that mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot the city.
The school,
Yeah.
where the school was,
Yeah.
I forget
When
the
the
city.
19 children and like the couple of teachers passed away, were killed. And just think about those families. That was something that was like severely unexpected.
Of course,
They're getting a call, having to go out to the school, not knowing whether their child or their loved one, significant other, whatever, was alive or not. And it's just so much that happens. Just that instance and so many other things that have happened. That's unexpected, and that's how life goes. So that's why it's so important. We sit and talk about, we have fun about things, but we want everybody to understand how important it is to get some type of coverage, insurance coverage.
Mm-hmm. Because we used to think it was always the older people in their 60s, 70s that's passing away, having heart attacks. Now these young people, I was reading the other day, I think it was a 17-year-old, I think it was younger than that, kid it was Snoop Dogg's daughter, 25.
Oh, really?
Had a heart attack.
Really?
I mean, a stroke. I'm sorry, a stroke.
Oh my goodness!
I was just reading it yesterday morning.
Oh wow!
I was lying in bed. I wake up early, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm reading. And I read, I'm like, man, how young was she? I mean, she survived it, but at the same time, you're 25 years old and you have a stroke. So that's again is where our permanent insurance come into play.
And with that critical illness.
Illness, yes.
Living benefits.
Benefits and all of that. If you're not able to work or pay your house note, pay your car note, that's how important insurance is. I had a family member who didn't get a policy because he didn't want nobody in his business. A couple of months later, he's here in Houston and gets into a fight, gets hurt, goes into the hospital, almost got killed, beat up really, really bad, and had no insurance. Why? Because he didn't want somebody in his business, which we already knew, but you just got to answer the question.
Right.
Again, the information that you put out there is confidential. There's some things that the company may ask me, and apparently they called him. Because they didn't call me, and because I spoke with him about it when I found out they canceled they didn't give him the policy, and I had to call to find out. And the answer was because he didn't want somebody in his business, which was everybody's business anyway, because the whole family knew that you had been incarcerated, right? But at the same time, the ignorance of it. You didn't get a policy, and then a few months down the line, you get attacked. Something happened, and then there you go. You burden on your mama while you're laying up in the hospital. She's trying to find funds to pay for a hospital bill or whatever because you didn't want somebody in your business.
Yeah,
which the family already knew it. We knew it. I didn't know.
Right, and
it happens. But we just have to. I always say, in order for us to do better as a people, we have to know better.
Absolutely.
So that's why we want to educate everybody.
Yeah.
So to do better, in order to do better, you have to know better. You have to be, we want to educate people around. We don't care what nationality you are. You can be black, white, Hispanic, Asian. We don't care. We want everybody to be educated on how important it is to have life insurance.
Absolutely.
Or being able to make sure your money is safe. Be in your own bank, as we always talk about.
True.
So
back in July, we had like a little mini family reunion leading up to the 4th of July, and it was so good seeing everybody. It was just wonderful. So my nephew, he has a large church in Michigan. So he was talking to his older brother, about insurance, getting covered. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this insurance on you. Man, I don't need no insurance. The man ain't gonna do this.
Yeah.
So and we had a great time, and September 25th, he lost his life. My nephew did, but fortunately, and this doesn't happen with everybody. My nephew that had the church, people knew him. He's really loved in the community. Both of them were, and everything was taken care of. But it doesn't happen in life like that.
Like that,
for
not all the
everybody.
time. No, it does not.
It does not.
Mm-mm.
He was truly loved and truly blessed to have somebody step in, and even the funeral home just take care of everything. But
It does not.
Life doesn't always happen that way.
No, because these funeral homes today, I know when my grandmother, my mom and everybody, not even my mom, I'm gonna take that back, but my grandmother, I'm from Conroe, Texas. Collins and Johnson was all we knew. Mr. Johnson used to take payment, make payment arrangements. A lot of the funeral homes aren't doing that anymore. You have to come up, as Kim said earlier, with that money.
Right.
My mom passed away. My brother passed away month later. We thought they had insurance. Nobody had insurance. Thank God we were fortunate enough to be able to take care of the burials without having to do the GoFundMe or to ask other family members or whatever. We were able to go step right in and do what we need to do to make sure that they were put away properly, And it was beautiful. But just think about if we had not been prepared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, we didn't know my mom, she had been in a car accident the year before. We had no idea her policy had lapsed because she was always on top of her business. We were so busy as, the girls trying to make sure your mom was rehabilitated and back healthy, being able to, we didn't think to look at the policy. And that's why this is so dear to me, in the field that I'm in right now, because of the experience that I've had. And not only that, losing my brother, he had no insurance back to back.
Wow.
So in the same year, I lost my mom and my brother, just say 6 weeks apart. So that's and that money came out of our pocket,
right?
Not having to do all this, go get a loan, or go out there and do a GoFundMe, and we were blessed, and I can appreciate that. So again, we want to make sure everybody's prepared for this, for those days.
But just think about it too, Joyce. Your mom was in that car accident the year before.
Yeah.
But think about her rehabilitation process. Looking at stuff like that, what probably wasn't on her mind if she hadn't been medicated and things like that.
It was not even on our mind either. No, because my mom was always on top of her stuff.
Yeah.
And you always think it's never going to happen to you because she was on her way to the dentist.
Yeah.
Never going to happen to you. And that's why we say we never know what's going to happen with us or to us.
Right.
You got these crazy people doing drive-by shootings. I was looking at something the other night on TikTok. A lady was doing an interview with a news reporter, and a drive-by happened while they were filming. And he was freaking out. All she was doing the whole time was praying. And I was like, my God, this woman here is a brave woman. And she was telling the news reporter, it was a man. It's gonna be okay. It was funny in a way, but it wasn't. But just to think the fact that they were covered by the blood of God. Because I'm like, this is crazy. And we don't think about things that we always say, oh, it's never going to happen to us.
Right.
It's never going to happen to us or anything like that. Because I tell you, my two daughters back, was it 7 years ago maybe? They were in a car accident right off of Gessner and 249. If you saw the car, you would say, how did they survive? Because the paramedics would say they did a 360. The car was scrunched up, airbag deployed on all around the car. And they said, how did they survive this? And people were saying that cars just spin. And I looked at the car and I was like, thank you, God.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. And again, I didn't have insurance or coverage on my kids. Never thought about it. And we don't think about it because we always think about the fact it's never going to happen to us. Never.
So many times it can be right at our back door, front door, right?
Mm-mm.
Just So it's just time for everybody to get conscious about it.
It is.
These kids these days are always talking about we outside. We outside. You ever hear them saying that?
Mm-mm.
Barbara, you don't hear them ever saying that?
No,
we don't have no
Okay.
kids.
My daughter probably does.
Our kids are way grown with it.
Okay.
So we need to know these things because we try and keep up.
What do
because
they say, Malcolm?
Well, they take great pride in being outside. Outside means that you're here. You're here in the moment. You're on the spot.
Oh,
You're on the spot. You're not hard to find, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all over every rap song you hear. We outside. We outside. Anyway, my point is that I take great pride. I take great pride in being inside.
Yeah.
Because inside is where all the business happens.
Mhm.
Number one, and inside is where it's safe at. That's why I'm
It's
bringing
safe.
it up. Y'all were talking about the car wreck and the stray bullets and the drive-bys. I don't have to worry about that up
Right.
here.
Mhm.
I'm 5 stories up. I don't
true.
mind staying up here.
Mhm.
It's safe, and this is where the action happens.
Mhm.
Out there, it's trouble.
It is.
Yeah.
How did they used to say it? What nothing
Trouble.
happens. Nothing happens after a certain time, but
Yeah.
Oh.
And you don't think about it because we just don't think about it. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
we don't think about it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But life is short. Every day, there's so much that's going on, and again, like I said, we don't think it's ever going to happen to us, because who would ever told me my mom was going to be in a car accident?
Right.
My mom would be here the next year. Whoever told me my brother at 50 something years old was going to be gone?
Yeah.
Still a young guy, but
Yeah. And I think about like the like since the pandemic, I don't do crowds as much as I used to, and then in lieu of like all the mass shootings and things like that, because I'm looking at this beautiful Texans blanket. I love tailgating. I love being at the games and
it's scary
at sports bars, watching watching the playoffs and stuff like that. But it's like now, you don't know,
Right.
what's going to happen.
You don't even want to go to movies.
You can't live your life in fear.
Uh-uh.
You just have to take comfort in knowing that you're covered by the blood of Jesus.
Right.
Yes.
But at the same time, you think about things like that now.
Yeah, I mean, when the shootings were happening in the movies, I wouldn't even go to the movie. I love going to the movie. I love popcorn, right, and my almonds. But I got to. It was a long time before James and I decided to go back to the movies because of that.
People would,
because of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
My kids, I was
Craziness.
like, be careful when you go out. My son right now, he leave the house. He's 39 years old. You know what I'm saying? Be careful, Jason.
Yes.
Be careful, Jason, because being an African American male, just stepping outside the door is a frightening
It's so true.
thought for me.
It's so
with
true.
my son,
I won't
my
even-
only son. You know what I'm saying? My daughters, okay, but my one son, just walking outside the door, it frightens me because I know that anything is capable of happening. Anything is capable of happening with him driving down the road, coming home at night late, or anything like that.
Yes.
Right. That's what I was alluding to.
You know what I'm
earlier.
saying?
I
So
like being inside, so y'all don't have to.
yes, my son like that too. Like that. He don't go nowhere. It's just the frightening thought of things that's out of our control.
Right. It's so true. It's
happening.
so true.
And again, that's why we stress, making sure that you have the coverage on your families and your kids, especially young kids nowadays. Young kids are getting caught in domestic family things these days.
Young couples, young females, and
you got these what do you call it? Suicidal. What do you call them? When the dad or the mom's killing the kids, or whatever. It's just
Mhm.
absolutely.
I don't know. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I read
I
about
can't
it all the
verbalize it.
time. Suicidal murders. Or I can't remember exactly what it's called, but there's so
Mhm.
much, happening where you having to bury. You're going into homes and finding 3 or 4 or 5
Mhm.
family members all deceased.
Murder
Murder
suicide.
suicide.
Yeah, murder suicide.
Murder suicide.
So again, you just think about did those family members have insurance on them?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
they should have.
Did things get that bad?
Right.
I read an article the other day where uh, there was a murder suicide, and but the grandmother and the 2 children, I guess they were upstairs or in the kitchen somewhere, and the husband, the wife was leaving the husband.
Mhm.
She wanted a divorce, and I guess the grandmother took the 2 kids, and anyway, they overheard the murder suicide. So I'm wondering exactly what you just said. Were they
Mhm.
Insured? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I mean,
goodness.
I was reading where the dad had 2 boys by the wife. It was 3 boys by the wife, and it was an older daughter she had from a previous relationship.
Mhm.
The dad got mad and was shot both of his small sons, 6 and 7. The mother was trying to save the one of the little kids. The little girl was able to grab the baby
Mhm.
and try and run next door with the baby. He caught the little girl, made the little girl put the baby down. It's just
Oh, my goodness.
that kind of crazy
Mm,
stuff
And see, the thing
that's
is,
happening in
with that
society.
type of situation with suicide, if they have a policy beyond 2 years, then they actually pay for it.
Right.
But if it's a situation where that policy is new, or is not within that time frame, that family gets nothing.
Mhm.
So
But
it's,
heartache.
yeah.
Nothing but heartache.
Mhm.
And again, like you said, having that policy into play, if
Mhm.
it's 2 years old, then it
Mhm.
will pay out
Mhm.
for suicide
Right.
murder. So
Yeah,
um,
it's something.
it's just ugh. Every time you just don't know.
I
You just don't know. And especially these were young people,
Mhm.
a young couple too. So you just wonder, did they have insurance? Did they even have the knowledge to go out and get insurance?
Right.
Because a
Mhm.
lot of the young people aren't thinking that way today.
Mhm.
They're not thinking. They think that the
And
only thing
I
they
believe
have is
they
what's on
hear
their
about it,
job.
but they just don't think it's that relevant.
Yeah.
My daughter's 19 and my son's 40. So I worry about him, as a black male. Of course, he's in Arkansas, but the little 19-year-old, she's rambunctious, she likes to go. So I just pray to God every time she
Leaves the
walks
house.
out that,
Yeah.
that door. Yeah. And she has friends like on this side of town, and she goes everywhere.
Yeah. It is.
So
It
it's
is.
like, yeah, it's something
Mhm.
you have to keep them prayed up, but
Prayed
still
up.
keep them covered.
Covered
By
all
blood
the
of
time.
Jesus
Yes.
and by
Oh.
insurance.
Yes. So make
You
sure
have to have
that.
that insurance covered, the life
Mhm.
insurance.
Ladies, I
Mhm.
shared to groups, all kinds of groups, and I want you to touch on a certain group I shared to, because I've touched on it before. Sometimes, and you've worked there before, the people who are behind walls, behind bars,
Mhm.
sometimes when before they get behind bars, they could use this education that you guys are giving them.
Mhm.
I would like y'all to touch on that right quick. How can you help? How can someone benefit from this information whose child, and I'm touching on this because of what Barbara said about her daughter. Her daughter's all out, and her son's 40, and he's on Arkansas. Now, her children might be straight laced. I'm talking about the kids who aren't straight laced, who could possibly get in trouble one day. How can those families benefit so that when that child
If it does happen,
ends up in behind bars or happens to die, how can the family protect themselves?
well, first of all, the family, because they are adults. Is that what you're saying? If they become adults or they're teens,
They're teens going down the wrong path.
the family member needs, if they're under 18, that parent can get a policy on
Yeah.
them. Now,
The sooner the better.
the sooner the better, yeah.
Mhm.
But if they're 18 years old, the parent would have to get permission. And because
Mhm.
there's going to have to be a signature.
Consent.
Yeah, because they have to
Consent.
own their own
Right,
policy.
the policy.
Mhm.
So they need to get it while they're small or younger.
Mhm.
We don't have to deal with all that because they're gonna be like, being rebellious or not
Mhm.
wanting to sign or whatever. So
Right.
I would suggest that the parent do it now before
Mhm.
it does happen, because
Yes.
once they get behind the walls and they're awarded to whatever state they may be in, the parent won't be
There's
able
nothing
to.
they can do.
There's nothing they can do because
Mhm.
they're awarded to the state of Texas, and understand that if something happens while they're incarcerated,
Yeah.
the state gonna ship them back to their mom and daddy
In a
Mhm.
box.
in a box. Now, do they have insurance on them while they're there? I don't know. I can't answer that question. Only that's something that they probably have to go to Congress or
Mhm.
write Greg Abbott. They might want to call him Hot Wheels, but anyway.
You ain't right. Right quick while we're making fun of Hot Wheels, we have one of the most popular.
Hot Wheels, you have to have that's Hot Wheels that, but I can't answer that question.
We have one of the most popular, one of the most well-known influencers in probably America. Hey, maybe I wish you'd call in and talk about life insurance, and talk about if you have it or not. If you have life insurance, if you would like more information
You
about
say
life
baby?
insurance,
Mhm.
huh?
You said baby?
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
baby.
Oh,
Maybe.
We thought you said baby.
No. Maybe is her name. You can follow her anywhere.
Okay.
She's a social media influencer, and I'm trying to be like her when I grow up.
Awesome.
She's all over social media. Y'all can follow her on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I think she's also on that other one I can't think of, Twitch. But y'all go follow her. Twitter.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you, Maybe, for tuning in. I'd
Mhm.
love it if you called in. These ladies are educating the world about life insurance and how families can benefit from life insurance. The name of this show is Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails. This show airs every Friday night from 8:30 to 10:30, maybe. I know you've already shared. I saw it come across my screen. I thank you so much. Thank you. This is Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails. If you have a glass of wine, I'm sure they're going to toast with you in just a second. There they go. They're
Here we
toasting
go.
right
Cheers.
now. And tell them why you centered the show around making life insurance contagious, and you guys are having wine while you discuss this.
Yes. Well, we basically came up with the idea because we felt like people would be more relaxed, because it's one of those uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. So we felt like, you sit down with your significant other, your husband, your wife, your kids, friends,
family.
and just have a conversation about things, death, because that's something that we all are going to have to go through at some point in time. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we educate the communities and people in general about the importance of having insurance and how to protect their families when they're no longer with them, by making sure they're able to continue living. And we always tell people, the insurance policy is for the living and not the dead, because the person that, the person that's going to be receiving it, the beneficiary, they're going to be the person that's taking care of the kids. They've got the house note, they've got the car note, they've got to make sure the kids go to college, and so on and so on. So they want to put into play how they're going to organize this to happen.
They're left with all those responsibilities.
Right, they're left with the responsibilities, and these are things that we don't talk about enough. We don't talk about it.
No,
we're not educated on it.
No,
I wasn't educated on it. I was totally ignorant.
That's right.
ignorant to insurance and what it was all about until I had my own personal experience, like I said earlier, with my mom and my brother. So I got into the field after that because it's something that's so dear to my heart that I always say, hey, I don't want anyone else ending up like I ended up with having to pay out of pocket,
Right.
for family members who didn't have insurance.
Yes.
And we go out there and we buy all these red bottoms, we buy the new iPhones, and we buy the Coach purses and the Louis Vuittons. And hey, I'm guilty of it too. We go get all this beautiful hair weave, human hair, $1,000 hair weave. We get all these pretty nails and all this stuff. This we call body cosmetics done, but I'm guilty. BBLs. But we don't think about how important it is, to have life insurance, because one pair of shoes that we pay for can cover a policy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
A whole year policy.
A whole year policy. You know what I'm saying? Plan in advance. People are getting income taxes now.
Right.
From last year, starting this month, people are filing income taxes. So we always suggest now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is to take some of that money, cover your kids. They have group policies for families. So, make sure that your family is covered.
Yeah.
It's
just time to think differently,
Yeah.
and like you were saying, we use the wine and like any cocktail or any beverage that you feel you want to just
Coffee.
sit and connect with, whatever brings your family together. Just so that you can have a serious but just uncomfortable conversation about covering your life and everybody that's sitting around that little comfort zone with you.
Right.
Your family, whoever your significant other is, your husband, wife, or spouse, just whatever.
Right.
Just have that conversation.
And it's going to be
about
uncomfortable.
covering your life. When you're not there anymore.
It's going to be uncomfortable. Even if you have children by a significant other, okay? And I'm sure you've gone through something, been there, done that one. Sit down with each other and decide, hey, we got 2 small kids here. We got 3 kids. We got 4 kids. We need to talk about what if something happens to one of us, how are these children going to continue to live? How are the kids going to continue to be maintained? Who's going to continue to take care of the kids? Both of y'all could be in the same car together and both of y'all get killed.
Right.
Those kids are going to have to be taken care of by somebody.
Yes, ma'am.
Put it in writing. Sit down, write it out, spell it out, go file it with the courts, or get an attorney, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
But figure out how life is going to continue to go on with your loved ones when you're no longer here.
Right.
Right.
It's going to be a primary beneficiary, a contingent beneficiary, and even a tertiary, that third person that you may need to consider. And
you can have 5 or 6 if you want to.
Yeah.
There's
you
no
have
limit.
As many as you want, pretty much.
Right.
But many times, depending on the complication of your situation, get that will, get that living trust, so that you can know exactly how you want things spelled out, so your family won't be in this disarray, once you're gone. But first of all, just start out with that insurance policy, with those beneficiaries in place.
Right. Make sure you're covered. Again, there's so much happening out here, and that's why we decided that we wanted to do something to try and make this thing contagious. We want to make insurance coverage contagious around the country. We're not saying
sit and talk about it.
Yeah, we're not saying, hey, you got to get insurance from us. We want you to get some insurance from anybody that's selling it. Not anybody, but we want you to get some good coverage for your family. Sit down with a licensed professional. Talk about annuities. Talk about life insurance. Learn what the differences are, between them, and do what is best for you and your family.
One more question for the night is this: what do you say to those people who say, oh, I can't afford that. That's for white folks. What do you say to them kind of folks? What do you say to them?
Just think about the things that you do spend your money on.
Y'all
You
just
know,
touched on that red bottoms and
yeah,
lobster
right.
and crab.
Crabs and
Yeah.
crawfish
You can afford that.
parties, like
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and think about your life, what you really think your life is worth, and how you want to be remembered when you leave out of here. Do you want somebody on the streets or on GoFundMe trying to raise money to bury you?
No.
You
And
know?
then the other family members talking about the girl, they had to go
Yeah.
raise money for their daddy,
Yes,
their mama. They couldn't even put them
yes.
away.
Didn't
Or they
have
could
no
Be
rent.
money.
somebody's
They
daddy,
have no
come
money.
on.
And one thing
or
we have
mother
to,
or whatever.
and one thing we need to
Mhm.
realize as a society of
Mhm.
people, death does not discriminate.
It does not.
It doesn't care what color you are, how tall, how short, if you're healthy, unhealthy. There's been so many
If you're
people,
rich, poor, whatever.
Right. It doesn't care.
No.
When it comes, it comes. When your number comes up, you're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I have a short story about that. When you one of y'all alluded to it earlier. Anything can happen. I'm trying to jog my memory. I just lost it. I lost the memory, but I know what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
One of y'all mentioned something about anything can happen, and you kids are out here wilding out, and the kids aren't taking it seriously. They're blowing it off.
Mhm.
Yeah, the money. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know how to protect their money.
Mhm.
They don't know how to invest their money or what to even do with their money. And you got a lot of these young millenniums and Z, and what do you call Z generation,
Gen Z
Gen Z
on TikTok and Instagram,
they making money
with
as
tons of money in their
influencers.
hands.
Yeah, and they don't even know what to do with it. They don't even know how to invest it
No,
to make more money.
No, not at all.
They're sitting here like, what do we do besides going? When I worked in emergency management down at the border, my first deployment, there was these 20-year-olds making $20,000-$30,000 a month.
Oh, yeah.
You know what they were doing?
Mm-mm.
I'm going on a cruise, buying all these cars, traveling around the world, no house, no car, living with their mama and them,
and just blowing that
and
money.
blowing all this money.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting back saying, okay, I remember having a conversation with a young lady who was telling me about how much money she was making. She was living in and I'm like, what are you doing with your money? Nails, travel. I mean, taking cruises, traveling with their friends, going out to party, drinking, and they're making good money. I'm thinking, damn, if I was your age making, and this job will take them a long way for whenever they're 20 years old now. Just think 20 more years, they're 40.
Right.
Or 60. You know how wealthy they can be making that kind of money per month?
By the time they're 40, oh my
millionaires.
Goodness. Yes.
Millionaires just doing the right investment.
Dumping that kind of money into an annuity.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can imagine.
And see, they could even start out with as little as $5,000.
Yes,
$5,000.
Just keep putting it in there as you make it. Dump it in there,
and don't nibble off of it. Can you imagine
Yes.
if I had the knowledge?
Yes.
To know about all these different annuities and life insurance policies.
Yes.
Do you know how well off I would be right now?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd be a rich bitch.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
the truth.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. And I have to touch on my education, my YouTube education. This is what they taught me, and I want to tell y'all this and the listening audience. You can, as far as, and this is pertaining to becoming my own bank. You can build your credit. Go to the bank and say, bank, I need $1 million. I need $100,000.
Exactly.
I need $100,000. And this is what banks do, by the way.
You can take that policy to your bank and let the bank hold it while you get a loan. And people don't know that. They do not educate us on this. In our African American community, we do not know this, that we can take our insurance policy to a bank, y'all listening to me out there,
Mhm.
and borrow off that policy.
Yes.
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 I've learned so. Lord knows I've learned so much since I've been in the
I'm
business.
so ready.
I
I'm ready.
I did not know.
Yes.
I did not know any of this thing.
Mhm.
Any of this. My mom probably didn't know it.
They hide this
My
Right.
information.
grandmother didn't know
That's
it.
true.
They hide this information on purpose to keep all of us in servitude.
Yes.
All of us.
Absolutely.
It's it's
Let
like
that cash value build up, and
Yes.
that's your bank.
Again.
That's your credit.
read about the Rockefellers.
Yeah.
Part of the process.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
We didn't understand the process.
No.
We didn't understand the assignment.
Mhm.
We didn't understand the assignment.
We weren't
You know,
taught.
when you got
That
slave
wasn't for
owners,
us.
you got slave
Mhm.
owners back in the day who had insurance on slaves,
Mhm.
and became wealthy. Slave died, they get paid,
Mhm.
and they be the ones killing them.
They be the ones killing him. He's running off, boss. Don't worry about him. I got him insured.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and we weren't taught it.
Wow.
That's something that I think that should be in the schools. Financial literacy.
Yes, absolutely.
I've been thinking about getting
Mhm.
together with
Yes, ma'am.
you guys and
Mhm.
doing a financial literacy class.
Yeah.
You know, for teens.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Absolutely.
It
You
should be
know,
taught.
young
Because
teens.
they need it.
You know,
Sure do.
they need it.
Mhm.
They don't know it.
They want to teach you about sex, but not
Right.
financial
Sex
literacy.
education,
Mhm.
Yeah, they teach
sexual education
They
in
teach,
Yes.
schools.
they teach them about all of that, but
Yeah, no
Mhm.
bank, know
Not-
how to protect their money, no
not-
financial literacy.
no,
Mhm.
none. And I've even heard here lately that they even took trades out of school. I didn't know that. I don't know
Oh,
if
the
that's
trade
Oh
schools.
yeah, they did it in many of the schools.
Really?
yes, yeah. You know
Wow.
how we used to have
The
horticulture,
automobile,
Yeah,
and
automobile,
auto
Yeah,
repair.
shops and all that.
What?
Yeah,
They took
and
all
that's
that out of
crazy.
school.
cosmetology and all that.
I didn't know that, but that's
Mhm.
cosmetology. All that they took all that out of
Mhm.
education, and that's sad. That's setting
Well,
us up for
I'm
failure.
no longer in the education system.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Teaching, so I don't really know what's going on. Plus, my kids are way out of school.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's something again. I remember going to high school when I was my 70s into high school. One of the things they did have was African American history. Then all of a sudden they took it away
they
when
took
I
it
got.
away.
They took it away when my year I got ready. I was so
Mhm.
excited about
Yes.
going to high school and learning about that.
Yes.
They took it away.
The real history.
I
Yes.
want to say hello to Instagram. It's saying 0 people are on here, but 5 people are talking to me, and about probably 50 people have been on
Hello,
tonight
everyone.
on Instagram. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Twitter. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. Instagram. I can't say your name. Ruhai the Bandit. I can't. I hope I didn't murder your name. They say y'all are covering major topics tonight. E45 Benitez, I know exactly who you are, man. So he's saluting me now because I gave him the salute. He's from Houston. He's a local music artist, local
Oh,
Okay,
rapper.
awesome. Hi,
He says, "What's popping? How y'all doing? We're doing fine." E45.
hi.
Why don't you call in, my man, and ask these ladies about some insurance? We're really over time, but I'll make time for you because this man here believes in himself, and I think he would benefit from something like what y'all are giving.
Oh,
him.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you a little bit about him. This is how I ran into him. He was on social media on somebody else's talk show, and he challenged other artists. This is how confident he is.
Wow.
He challenged other artists and put up his own money, his own $1,000, and said, "We're gonna go song for song.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And if you're better than me, if the listening audience says you're better than me, you win. If the listening audience
Wow.
say I'm better than you, you give me $1,000." And nobody took the challenge. That's how
Wow.
confident this dude is.
Wow.
So E45 Benitez, if you want to call in right quick, the number is right under your nose, man. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's 832-560-2885. That number, once again, is scrolling at the bottom of the screen at 832-560-2885. Call in and learn something about life insurance tonight, and share this video to 10 inboxes for me, man. 10, just 10. He says
Thank you for
already.
tuning in.
He says still got a band for whoever wants it. He's still running his mouth.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Any rap artist in Houston that wants this man's money or think you're better music artist than him, he's putting up $1,000. He's still talking. So call in right quick, E45 Benitez, and learn about life insurance. The name of this show that you're watching tonight is called Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails. And just to make sure you understand what kind of coverage, it's life insurance coverage.
Life insurance.
Let's talk life insurance coverage over cocktails every Friday night.
Every Friday.
$1,000. We got money to cover it. Get you an annuity. An IUL.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Call in and learn about annuities. Call in and turn about. A lot of people think that life insurance is just for death, but these ladies are teaching that you can benefit from life insurance while you're living. It's called living benefits. So E45, if you don't want to call in tonight, I just want to make sure you get this information. So
he can take that $1,000 and put it over in an annuity or
an IUL.
IUL. What is an IUL right quick?
Index Universal Life Policy. It's a permanent policy, whole life policy that dabbles in the stock market, but it just allows you to build cash value.
You said IUL, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Index Universal Life.
I'm looking it up right quick, y'all, so I can put the definition on the screen for you. These ladies are very knowledgeable about life insurance, and I try to follow along with everything they say.
And we're trying to make it contagious around the country, around the globe. We don't care where you are, what state you are in. We're in all 50 states. So we're just trying to make sure that everyone has coverage to protect their families. Everyone has coverage to make sure that their money is growing in the event that something does happen, that their families can continue to live. Because as we said before, insurance is for the living and not for the dead.
Right.
For life insurance benefits are for the living, not the dead.
Yes.
Is what Miss Joyce and Miss Barbara want y'all to hear tonight. E45 Benitez says, I got you at some point. When I invited him to call in, he says, I got you at some point. I'll try to come in person. So he wants to know if he's welcome to come in and talk.
Absolutely, yes.
There you go, E45. They would love for you to come in one night, every Friday night from 8:30 to 10:30 every Friday night. The phone numbers, if you'd like to talk to them before then, are on the screen right here in front of you. You're more than welcome to call either one of these ladies at their numbers. These are their numbers right here. I'll take this off the bottom so you can read everything. The phone number, we're going to cut that off because it's too late. There we go. There's everybody's phone number. Barbara is right here in the middle on the bottom row. She's on your left-hand side of the screen. Wave at them right quick, Barbara.
Hello. I can be reached at 346-243-4011. Barbara Calvert, Missouri City.
There you have it, y'all. She doesn't care where you live. Give her a call and she'll help you out with your insurance, annuities, whatever information you need, living benefits, death benefits, becoming your own bank and more. And on the far left, on the top row, is Joyce. She's on the right-hand side right there.
Hi.
Let them know a little bit about you too, Barbara.
Yeah.
I mean, Joyce.
My name is Joyce Schofield. I live here currently in Houston, Texas, from Conroe, Texas, actually, born and raised there. I can be reached at 281-814-7332, just a country girl living in the city.
There you have it,
my mom used to always say you can take the girl out the country, but you can't take the country out the girl.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. Love country girls, man.
Yeah, I'm a country girl at heart.
At heart, and it's just like you have a little bit of both in you.
Exactly.
Country, a little bit. Yeah. Same thing.
Living in a city.
Exactly. I liken that to having book sense, street sense, and
common sense. There you go. All of the above.
I liken that. It's the same thing.
You have country sense. Beauty. Yeah. Beauty. Street sense, smarts. Living in everything.
James, help. James.
James.
I done got
silent
he
tonight.
must have went to sleep.
I done got to
He's
start it,
Oklahoma.
James.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah,
got up
he's
at
probably
3 or 4
tired.
o'clock. 3 o'clock. Well, he normally is on here, but he's out like a light.
All right, everybody.
Yes.
In closing, ladies, anything you'd like the listening audience to know?
Yes. I'd like to say thank you to all of the listening audience who tuned in tonight and who's listening to us. Again, like and share the program. Pass the program on to your family members, your friends, if they may have missed it. Sit down and have those uncomfortable conversations with your spouse or your significant other, your ex-husbands, ex-wives. Just make sure that you guys are covered. Again, we're out here trying to make coverage contagious. We don't care what nationality you are. We don't care where you are. We always say it's better to have coverage, 5 years later than 5 minutes too late. So that's just always been my motto. We want you guys to spread the word, make it contagious. Talk to your other family members. Ask them the question, are you covered? Y'all can talk about anything else and ask all the other questions that you should be asking.
Right.
But that's one question that needs to be asked. Ask if you have some insurance. Inquire. We always want to be nosy with other people's business. So this is the time to be in people's business by asking them, are you covered? Do you have insurance? So,
Yeah, and just remember, guys, these are trying times right now.
Yes.
Some of you may have expendable cash or whatever, and some may not. But just think about your priorities in life. You don't want your loved one or your family member left behind. Trying to figure out how they're going to take care of your final expenses.
Exactly.
And pay their bills. As a household. When you're no longer here. So just have that, like Joyce said, have that uncomfortable conversation and, just sit and just really, really talk to each other about, life, if what happens if you become ill, critically ill or chronically ill, and who's gonna take care of you? Do you have your affairs in order so that if that happens, you're not just totally displaced. Without having anything coming in, because there are insurance policies that can help you take care of that, that have those living benefits.
Yeah, sit down with your kids too, because I know it's probably more difficult for children to sit down with their parents to have these conversations because they don't want to hear it. And I can tell you this from a personal experience. My kids don't want to hear about me talk about these things because they think I'm going to be around forever. I know the reality of it. I'm not.
Absolutely.
Those are facts. We're not going to be around forever. The one thing that, that's promised is we're all gonna die.
That's for sure.
We're gonna leave this earth. We came to this earth with nothing, and we're gonna leave this earth with nothing.
Absolutely.
So make sure that your families, are being taken care of when you can't be here to take care of them yourself.
Right. So. Absolutely. And Joyce, you talk about your parents a lot, and it's a really soft spot for me. Because I remember specifically the last Thanksgiving, we all spent with my mom, and she was a beast in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that Thanksgiving, we were expecting her dress and all her specialties or whatever, and she wasn't feeling it, and I was like, something's not right. And she, when we were getting everything together just like she always taught us, and she was in her bedroom. Just kind of relaxing, just chilling. And she's always been the life of the party, busy. So we went in. Was talking to her. She was like, Ann, because they called me Ann. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. And I was like, okay, okay, we're gonna get it together. Still, and kind of in the back of my mind thinking something. But still at the same time, gonna have her. We're gonna go on and but that next Thanksgiving we didn't have her.
Right.
She passed away that following July. So it's something that's very uncomfortable. But you have to talk about.
You have to.
You have to.
I just wish so many times that I had that last little
Yeah.
conversation with my mom,
Absolutely.
and then you think about things where, I can recall the day I got a phone call from my mom. I don't even know who called me, to be honest with you. Somebody didn't, I don't even know how they got my number, but it was someone that knew of me, but didn't really know me, and how they got my number. I have no idea. To say your mom been in a major car accident, they life flighted her.
Number. Your
number
in her phone or something.
It was somebody, I don't even remember who. I don't even know who she was. And I can recall I'm outside working on my patio. It's summertime. It's June. I'm outside, not thinking outside in the heat of the day. I'm a plant mama too. So I love outdoors, outdoorsy things. Like I said, I'm a country girl. So the heat doesn't really affect me too much. Like most people can't. Well, I keep saying the heat.
No, Barbara, say it ain't so, Barbara.
That's why I couldn't do the country life too long.
Say it ain't so, Barbara.
So you just again, you never would have thought.
Right.
You never would have thought. I'm talking to my brother while I'm driving in the car coming back from Louisiana on a Saturday, right? I've been to the casino by myself, driving, talking to him, fussing at him. Mom's not here. You need to get it together. Blah, blah, blah. He was feeling bad. Like you said, your mom was. You need to go to the doctor. He go, I'm going to wait till Monday. I'm going to wait till Monday. And my words to him, I never will forget. Boy, you better go to the doctor because I'm not burying nobody else. And Monday never got here. This was on a Saturday. Monday never got here. I'm just feeling bad. I'm gonna wait till Monday, and go to the doctor and stuff like that. But it's just those things where, again, we have to sit down and have those conversations,
you
whether we want to or not. We just have to make the time to demand, pretty much, your family come together and sit down and talk.
It's
demand it. Just demand it.
Yeah,
and explain to them, hey, we're going to have this conversation. It's something that you guys may not want to talk about. It's something that you may not want to hear, but it has to be done.
I never thought I would be 54 years old thinking about being a kid and wondering why, like once a year, someone, a family friend, not a family member, a family friend would call my dad and be like, hey, I want to come over and let's have some light bites and some drinks. And my dad would help him out, and they'd have I don't know, from 20 to 30 people in our home. And he'd be on a chalkboard, and you know how it was when we were growing up. It's time for y'all to go to bed.
Right. Don't be no grown folks business.
You're too young for grown folks business. But now that I'm 54, I'm like, that's what they were doing.
Yes.
He was in our home trying to sell what you're saying.
Sure.
They're having a meeting, and he's trying to get everybody
exactly
on this
what
level.
it is.
But understand, they didn't tell African American people all about insurance. The only thing we ever was taught about was term.
Right.
We didn't know anything about IULs and
not
ROPs,
IULs, but we
ROPs
knew about the whole life portion, but the term was the easier one
to
get into.
Well, yeah, true,
right away.
True. Yeah, that was the easy, and people and we took that without being knowledgeable,
knowing
or
how to
even
build wealth from it and all that,
or not even trying to go about trying to learn more about the other insurances. We like, oh, this is the best one for us. This is what we're gonna have, and then we ended up
know it better
when we're 64 years old, not doing that policy review or even understanding it. Figure out we ain't got nothing.
Right.
Because it's done lapse. It's no longer. It's not any good.
Yep.
It happened to so many people. So many people in my own family. That didn't have policy, and I can remember those conversations, or hearing my mom and my grandmother talk about it, or on the phone. Well, girl, she didn't have no insurance. Did she have a policy? Well, the policy lapsed. How she let the policy lapse? I thought she was paying on it.
Yeah,
you can remember that.
Easy to happen. To happen. And I think back to my mom once again, because she lived in Arkansas, but she always went to church conventions like all over the United States. She was in Iowa when in a hotel room when she passed away. So just think about you gotta get the body, situated there. You got to transport the body. It's so many moving parts to this thing.
It is.
So many expenses.
Very.
So it's not a cheap situation. So you have to really think about it and prepare for what could happen.
You have the individuals who's been in the military, being not away from home, being transported back. I recall my own grandfather, my mom's dad, military, living in Spokane, Washington. He passed away there, having that body, transported back to Texas. And you have the tombstone. They only pay so much, and the military only give you so much money. It's not a lot. You think you would get thousands if you didn't put your life on the line? It's nothing.
But don't they don't take care of the transport? They take care of the transport.
They take care of the transport, and they take care of the headstone. But I think they only pay like $600 or $700 for other stuff, and that's it. That's it. And then they give you the flag. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then, if you're a widow, like my grandmother was, again, that's another one of those conversations where your grandfather married to your grandma still, but he got a woman over here.
Right.
Well, guess what? My grandma got everything.
Yeah,
they've been, and when my grandfather passed away, it was so funny. And I'm airing out some family stuff, y'all. When my grandfather passed away, my mom gets this call, wanting to know my grandfather's social, and my mom like, well, who are you? I'm his wife. My mom was like, my mom is his wife too. So we got those things in the closet.
Crazy how it happened, man.
Yeah,
it is.
So that opened up a whole nother can of worms, because my mom was like, my mom is his wife too, which of course that leads it down to a whole legal thing of doing research in Texas, Louisiana, to making sure there wasn't a divorce.
Right.
But at the end, it took years before my grandmother could even get benefits, because they had to do all this research, and then it was held up in court for years.
And that's what happened. What happened with my dad too. His ex-wife, my older brother's mom, came out of the woodwork. We were like, what the hell? She's not married to him. Mama married to him.
I told y'all about that story.
Yeah, it's crazy what we have in the
trying
closet.
To get all the benefits,
And then my grandmother ended up getting everything. My grandfather had a house, property, and up there. My mom got all that, cars. And then this woman who was like, trying to still get some. So my mom was like, look, just give us something to get us out of her hair. But my mom my mother was an only child. But there was another child we found out after that. And my mom and her were like, well, where you come from? My grandfather did, so we're going to get some DNA. But come to find, she was my mom's half sister. But with my biological grandmother, my mom was it. So, of course, my mom was spoiled. And everybody wanted a piece of the pie. Come to find, it was a whole bunch of wives. Not just one, it was a whole bunch of came out. I said, oh, Lord, he'd be in prison if he was living today. They would go after him. But again, we got so many things in the closet that we don't, that family don't know about until somebody dies again.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
When someone passes away, everything starts coming out of them skeletons. Yep, they walking out.
Falling out of that closet.
Start falling out. I'm like, oh Lord. And of course, as a young girl, a teenager, actually, I was in high school in 79. My grandfather passed away. I'm sitting here listening. I'm like, damn, all this happened, this drama up in here. Because it was. Because, you think your grandfather, you're like, grandpa was married to 4 or 5 different women. Because all the women coming out. I'm like, ooh, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
What was that little recording artist that you remember? It was a few different actresses were married to him. He was a little short guy. And he was on I think he got on drugs and all that, but he was a really, really good artist at the time. And then he just went
Billy Paul.
No, not Billy Paul. What's that little guy? It's
Bobby Womack, Bobby Womack.
Yeah, Bobby Womack too, but it was another little guy. He was a real short little dude. I forgot his
Paul.
name.
Damn, but I tell you what, they got so much stuff going on in these closets. But y'all better get that stuff out of the closet and get this life insurance straight.
Yeah, for sure.
You would say get it straight.
Scrape.
Mhm.
Get it scraped because it needs to be. Because I tell you what, my husband has someone was knocking on my door. James, yeah, I'm talking about you, baby.
Mhm.
It
Lorenz Tate.
ain't a-
Lorenz Tate played him.
Lorenz Tate.
Lorenz Tate
Lorenz
played
Tate.
him. I
But-
forgot.
Man,
damn.
we can't be doing none of that.
Little something.
It was little something.
Little David, Little Wayne, little David, little
I know it
Richard.
was,
Yeah,
it
but-
wasn't
I
little
can't
Richard,
remember.
But
It was
y'all-
something
but it
like
was a
that.
little something. Little
Yeah,
guy.
we've gone over
I
time.
know,
Malcolm,
we're way
appreciate-
over. Thank you, Malcolm, for putting up with
But
us.
yeah, we've gone way over our time, guys. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, watching us. Like and share the program. We just like to have fun. We kind of get off subject to not be so serious all the time, which we are
Everything still
serious.
ties in.
Yeah, we're serious, but
Mhm.
we want to make it, fun and interesting for you guys to tune in and watch us as well. But again, go have those uncomfortable conversations and speak to your family about life insurance and how important it is in the event of an untimely death. So
Mhm.
that's it.
Oh yeah. Thanks, guys. See
Thank
you next
y'all.
time.
I'd like to give a shout out. I see Mr. Jermaine Ross. Hi, Jermaine. Thank you for tuning in. My cousin Monica Johnson, Miss Judy Drake from Conroe, Texas, and Miss Willie Mae Easley. And my daughter's best friend, Javonda. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching the show. Pass the word on, like and share the program. And we'll see you guys next Friday, same time.
Same bad channel.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, same back channel, but we will all be on. I will be on the road next Friday, but I'll be on the show, Malcolm.
Yeah, so
We'll
we'll do it.
we're
We'll
gonna
do
do,
it. We'll send the link to all of us next month.
Yeah,
You got it.
we'll be. I'll be in San Antonio.
Okay.
My sister's having a gala for artwork. I need to
Okay.
shout out to my sister. She's they're doing a curation of her work from when she first started her art
Okay.
up until present day. They're gonna be doing a big thing at University of Texas in San Antonio.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
So I'll be
cool.
there and I'll be on the show from there. Plus, she's launched a brand of tea, and maybe we can get on the show one night. She's
Mhm.
launched a brand of
Oh,
tea,
cool.
as well as a clothing line
Okay.
called Dima.
Dima?
Oh, that's gonna be
Dima.
awesome.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
With,
All
right.
Yeah. So
Thanks, guys. We'll
thank
see you next time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
All right, everybody. Thank you, ladies, for a great show. I hate.
Cheers,
I
Miss
always.
Yeah.
I always. There you go. Mine is empty.
Oh, yeah. Malcolm. we sip.
We want to see y'all next Friday night, and every Friday night from 8:30 to 10:30 on Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails. This is the flyer right here. My glass is empty right now, but we usually toast. We usually toast to valid points that are made during the show, information that's disseminated during the show. The ladies usually put a toast up, so that's why my glass is empty, because they had plenty of points tonight.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me put y'all on the screen. There we go. Do it again.
You got the flyer up.
You. Hold on. I got
I
it
see it in the little
right
corner.
now. I got you.
Okay, there we go.
There
Let's
you
talk
go.
coverage over
Over
cocktails.
Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails airs every Friday night from 8:30 to 10:30. If you need more information about life insurance, annuities,
Peace.
living benefits, death benefits, anything you need to know about life insurance, we already know that they don't teach this stuff in schools.
Nope.
I don't care if it's on the elementary level, the
Mhm.
intermediate level, the high school level, the collegiate level. They do not teach this information. That's why these
This
ladies
is
chose.
free information. Free
Yes,
information for
yes.
you guys. Free information.
Free information is
Yes.
disseminated every Friday night here about life insurance, about protecting your family, about becoming your own bank. Your family can form their own bank
Mhm.
for real. I mean,
Real.
I'm getting
For
out of
real.
Literally.
For real.
Mhm.
literally form your own
Mhm.
bank and do the same thing that banks do. Your family can do. So that's
Grow
what
your
we
money.
alluded to earlier. You can call a family meeting and y'all can all sit around and watch this show and learn about life insurance and how your family can become your own bank. You don't need a bank.
Make it contagious with your family.
Make it contagious with your family.
Make coverage contagious with your family.
So from this point forward, everybody who tuned in, everybody who's going to watch the replay after the night, on Friday nights around, I guess about 7 o'clock, that's enough time to put the wine or the cognac or the tequila, the vodka, whatever your tea, your milk, whatever,
tea, milk,
your coffee, whatever. It
Hot
doesn't have
chocolate.
to be hot chocolate. It doesn't have to be alcoholic beverage. Put an alcoholic beverage or whatever in the freezer, a beer, whatever you want to have.
Water.
Even let the little ones sit around and listen and understand what it means.
Yes,
exactly.
To be covered.
So they can be
like,
educated.
Daddy, am I going to have some money when you die?
There you
Because
go.
little kids are blunt. They're
Sure.
to the point.
Yeah.
Let them understand. Talk to them.
Talk to them.
That's a prime time to talk to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Giving you an opportunity to introduce your children also to the
Yes.
ladies in front of you. We have Barbara tonight on the left. Wave at them, Barbara, right quick.
Hello.
Her phone number is in the middle of the screen on the bottom. And then we have Joyce at the top upper left-hand corner.
Hello, everybody.
That is her number.
281-814-7332.
We
Holla.
thank you. And then we have Kimberly, Veronica, and Denise. They're not here tonight, but Denise and Kimberly are in East Texas.
East Texas, yes, Palestine,
If you're
Palestine.
if you're more comfortable talking to someone in your own neck of the woods, they are available also in East Texas to talk to you about life insurance. But that's our show for tonight, y'all. Join us next Friday night.
Thank you.
Like I said, around
you,
7
guys.
o'clock, start the coffee brewer. Put your favorite alcoholic beverage in the freezer. Start the coffee brewer, whatever your favorite beverage is. If it's a glass of water, put it in a big 32-ounce Yeti,
milk,
Cocoa-
whatever you want.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, whatever your favorite beverage is, and join us every Friday night. There's the information again. We're out of here for the night. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Bye, everybody.
I got you off the screen again. They waved. Bye-bye, Joyce.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Barbara.
Good night.
Bye. Thanks,
Safe
guys.
weekend, everybody.
Happy weekend, everybody. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Good night.
Good night.
Now, where'd you get this blanket?
I got like 10 chickens blankets. Oh, wow. Everybody knows I like football. Yeah. Everybody keep their hats. Yeah. Regalia.